now.
I don't know who said it. Somebody said they missed Jordan, our director.
He's probably watching right now.
Going, yes, I'm irreplaceable.
This is what happens when I leave.
How about that?
Jordan is loving this.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
First show, Jordan's missed. You know that, right, Paul?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Good morning, everybody. It never gets old. How about that? Thank you, Rick Regan. Welcome, everybody, to Canada's daytime sports talk show. That's right. I'm the Phil Donahue of Sports Talk.
I don't know who that makes me. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Who's the able-bodied assistant?
I don't know. Anybody?
Are you ready, everybody, for some football? Football Friday here on Canada's daytime sports talk show, and it is episode number 302. I know y'all are pretty revved up for it. I know I am.
Yep.
The former commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Mark Cohan's going to be with us today. I want to say 2007 to 2014 would be his reign. And he pulled a Jerry Seinfeld. He left him wanting more.
Yep.
And Mark Cohan's going to be joining us from Southern Ontario. He's now the chair of the Junos, right?
Yep,
which was supposed to be held in our backyard here way back at the start of the pandemic. Interested to talk to Mark Cohan today. Charleston Hughes, Chucky, the sack leader of the CFL in each of the last 4 seasons, is going to be with us. Is he in studio, Clark? Awesome. Chucky's going to be here right in the bunker. And also coming along, Sportsnet's Arash Madani and John Frenzy sitting here as part of our live studio audience. He'll be coming up in segment 2. So it's a Football Friday. Are you ready with the quick 6 show topics, Jordan? We missed you, by the way, in case you hadn't heard. No offense to anybody else. Here are your quick 6 show topics. Yes?
He wasn't watching yesterday, but I ran him through all the clips in and out of the breaks.
Did he laugh uproariously?
Like, his heart was so warm and he was so happy, I could tell.
He should.
It was fun.
Glad to have you back, Jordan. So number one, listen, it's a Football Friday, and our stats and analytics show that you come here for football coverage. You've all said that, and I get it. But we cover it all in the rollout for Flooring Superstore. So number one, the Flames meltdown last night. Should we take this down?
I think
the
we
Flames
have to.
jersey?
We have to.
Beep. Biggest meltdown in Stanley Cup playoff history is now owned by the Calgary Flames. Up 3-0, got it in the bag, trying to stave off elimination, and then that is soiling the sheets right there.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
They lost 7-3 to the Dallas Stars in a historic run of 7 unanswered goals by the Dallas Stars to knock out the Calgary Flames. And they're mourning in Calgary today.
They are big time. And it's such a crazy situation because goaltending had been so good. What Cam Talbot was able to do through the first 9 games of the playoffs was nothing short of remarkable. He had, numbers that had really never been seen in Calgary playoff history. The save percentage was unbelievable. He had really bailed that team out, but then you don't have Matthew Tkachuk, and then he has, that bad spurt, and they pull him. And then you hear Jeff Ward saying that, I wanted to put him right back in. But he had already gone to the locker room for some equipment thing, and it's just not a good situation.
That's the poll question today, by the way. You bring up Jeff Ward. He's the interim head coach. Remember way back in a prehistoric time when Bill Peters was the coach of the Calgary Flames and was fired for, we all know why. So Jeff Ward was named the interim head coach last November. He's still the interim head coach. So the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall is, should the Flames retain interim head coach Jeff Ward? 61% on Twitter saying no, the Flames should not. 39% say yes, and on Twitter it's exactly the opposite. The majority saying yes, they should keep Jeff Ward. It's a dicey situation, and I would suggest this. The general manager of the Flames, a WHL alum, Brad Treeliving, his dad's Jim Treeliving from Dragon's Den. Maybe he should consult with his dad, actually, on this decision on what to do with Jeff Ward, right? Mm-hmm. That never hurts to go to your pops.
That doesn't.
But at least, Brad Treeliving, take a couple days to calm down before you make a decision. Because he doesn't need to make it now.
No.
But I voted no, they shouldn't keep Jeff Ward. But the more I think about it, he's a pretty good coach. Who else is out there? The players know him and love him. And again, we can't go firing coaches every time a team craps its pants because it really is on the players.
Well, you got to take the temperature of the team. find out, really, does he have the locker room? Does he not have the locker room? What's his effect been on this group? And then you look at, like you said, who else is available too? We don't even know what the fallout is in the entire NHL coaching circle. So there's still time, way too early to make that decision. And they just, take a couple days.
That's the big news in sports today. In Canada was the Calgary Flames meltdown. Moving on to some football notes here. Number 2, CFL news. As I sit here today, there is none. And that tells me the Canadian Football League is facing a major uphill struggle just in the PR realm. I mean, they've been had horrible PR here through all of the pandemic. A lot of it is their own doing. But Lynch is going to be talking NFL with us today. Obviously, he has his CFL thoughts. But we're heading into the fall where Canadians tend to usually pick up and pay attention to the Canadian Football League, and it's not going to be there.
Right.
So it's a lot of good men and women's jobs to keep this team in the public conscience. Media's responsibility to a degree, but it's going to be a lot of work. Point 3, Wade Miller, the president of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, whom I've often said I like it, has always been good to me, and that's the truth. Quote from him that was attributed, I saw it on Twitter from the account CFL News yesterday, it came down to no federal support, unquote, as to why they canceled the season. Wade, you're not going to get fired, okay? So you don't need to be pointing fingers. Now's not the time to play the blame game. I don't know about other presidents of other CFL teams, but you, Wade, are fine. As the defending Grey Cup champions and $3.5 million profit, stop pointing the finger at Ottawa and look in the mirror as to why this pro league couldn't play as opposed to just about every other one that could. I'm disturbed by, and actually, I'm not the only one that feels that way. I mean, I could stand on my own, but Danny Austin of the Calgary Sun, who was just on this show last week, said the same thing. This can't be the narrative. The CFL couldn't play because of their own fault, their own problems. Stop blaming Ottawa. Are you with me or against me on this?
You know I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right? Don't blame other people for your problems. It doesn't help. And it would have been really nice for the government to say, hey, you know what? We want to support the Canadian Football League no matter what. Let's just find the right way to support them and to come out and say that they're going to support. But no, they're not on the field because they don't want to be on the field.
Bingo.
That's it. We talked about this, right?
We have.
If you want to be on the field, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll make up excuses.
It's repetition.
Yeah.
We got to keep putting it in people's heads. Don't let the CFL decision makers and tall foreheads blame Justin Trudeau. Dylan Moran's watching from the On and Off the Field podcast in upstate New York. He said CFL plus XFL equals awesome spring football. I'm not against it. I'm not totally for it. Maybe that's something that we'll talk about. Can you file that?
File it.
We'll ask Lynch what he thinks later on, our football guru, on that. Point 4, NFL notes. It is getting juicy. I'm starting to pay a little more attention to the National Football League, and part of that is because SportsCenter's picked up in Canada and is carrying the clips, like Rob Gronkowski's news conference yesterday. Always entertaining with Gronk. And he says that Tom Brady looks refreshed. So it was a real big topic on ESPN Get Up this morning as how can Tom at 43 potentially have a stronger arm than ever? That was the big topic. Who knows, but it's hella fun to talk about.
Isn't it?
Right? That was the one note that I had. Oh, and the Rodgers-Jordan Love thing. I got to ask Mark Cohan this, Charleston Hughes, and I'll put it to you as well. Aaron Rodgers was clearly not happy the night Jordan Love was taken in the first round by his Green Bay Packers. And the discussion became on Get Up this morning, and I'll carry it over to this show. Is the onus on you to teach the ropes to the guy that's coming to take your job? It has long, and I'm just talking about pro football, period. I can see you're thinking as I say that. I just remember back in the day when I first started in the CFL, the older guys were talking about that. And while society would think you wouldn't help the young guy, but you do need to help the young guy. And the guys that did show the young guys the ropes were always the class guys that really, in my opinion, had the Hall of Fame careers. Show them the ropes. Show them the way. Somebody would have done it for you. And when the day comes that the sun is set on your career and that young guy's in your spot, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
But don't be the guy that doesn't help the young people. Now, I haven't been in the practices of the Peyton Mannings or the Brett Favres. I've been at the Darian Durant practices and so forth. I don't know. They were saying that Peyton Manning never helped the young guy. Brett Favre never helped the young guy. Story is Darian Durant never helped the young guy. So where do you fall on that?
But they did. They helped by going about their business and doing their thing day after day after day in the presence of the young guy. You're not sitting there taking him under your wing, sure, and teaching him the ropes in terms of here's what you do. No. You just go do your thing, and the young guy's in that environment, and he'll see it. How do you feel about teaching the young guy sitting in this chair, just waiting to punch you out of there one day, right? Not that that's the case, but I think,
Why, let me ask you.
Yeah.
How have I been to you?
You've been great, but it's not. I just get to sit here and soak it up and just experience it. So it's really great for me because people have people tell me, why don't you have your own show? Or you could do a show like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I know I'm not ready to host it for 2 hours. It's easy to be in my chair. I just, fill in the little gaps. And I've sat in that chair when you've been gone. It's not easy. There's a lot of things going on, but I can just sit here and learn and experience it and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's what the young quarterbacks do. It's not on Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning to invite them over to watch film together and show them all the things. It's up to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers to go out and be the best they can be, put in the work, and make sure those guys can see you doing it on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, it's about leading. There's different ways to lead. You can lead by example. You can be a vocal leader. But the main thing is you need to lead.
But, yeah. The side of don't be a dick, I'm all on that side too. Don't be anti-leader and I'm not going to help him. Be like, no, I'm going to continue to do my thing. I hope he can take as much as possible. And when I'm done, the seat will be his.
That's point 4 on the NFL notes. Pausing for a second here in our morning coffee get-together in the Rollout for Flooring Superstore on Game Plus TV. Jason Smith says chances of a Canadian team bringing back the Stanley Cup starting to dwindle. I'm glad you brought that up, Jason, because I thought when the Flames went down, immediately I thought of the 93 Montreal Canadiens. And I almost wonder if they're like the 72 Dolphins, the undefeated Dolphins that went on to win the Super Bowl, if the Canadians all call each other or are on a group text from 93. Because those Dolphins, whenever a team starts undefeated in the NFL and eventually fall, the Dolphins all go, because they all live on the same street. You've heard this story.
Yep.
They all have a bottle of champagne ready to go. And when that team eventually loses, they all go out into the street and toast each other with that bottle of champagne. Because they're still the 72 Dolphins. Do you think the 93 Canadians do that? They might.
They should.
Guy Carbonneau, Kirk Muller's still there. He's coaching the team. Patrick Roy, I'm not sure they talk to him. But there must be something to that. We're still the last Canadian team.
Yep.
It's kind of like the 72 Dolphins of hockey.
I don't know about Kirk Muller. She cheersing that we lost, but I'm still a champ. You
get it, right?
I get it. It's fun.
So, Jason, thank you for that. But the 93 Canadiens continue to be more and more and more heralded for that reason. Was it Jean Perron or Jacques Demers? Do you remember, Lynch? It was Perron, wasn't it? Like Maybe you're right. I think it was Perron. Point 5. It's CFL Sim Day, by the way. We'll be broadcasting 2 6-2 teams tonight on this Facebook Live channel, The Rod Pedersen Show. Edmonton at Saskatchewan, 7 p.m. Mountain. It was voted by you viewers as Canada's Game of the Week, and we got a special surprise, Darren. I'll let you break the news.
Yeah. John Lynch is going to make his CFL Sim debut as the color commentator. So I'm going to get bumped out of the seat, and we're going to shuffle the deck around, and we're going to amp up this broadcast. So he's going to be in my chair doing color. I'll flip in to host the show, and
Perfect.
You guys will slide in for play-by-play. It's going to be fun.
Hall of Fame writer, broadcaster John Lynch will provide the color commentary of tonight's Saskatchewan-Edmonton game of the CFL Sim season. So can't wait. Pizza provided by Vern's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the Tap Brewhouse and Liquor Store. Point 6. Hey, I got to say this. Thursday night races, and now would be a good time probably to read the DarkHorse read, but I did watch them on TSN last night. Did you catch any of the races last night
Not
from Woodbine?
last night.
Okay. Well, the horse racing, as I said yesterday, raised around horses right here, but was scared of them. They're very big, powerful animals. You know what I mean? I just never really connected with them.
Oh, yeah.
But to watch and bet on them, different story. But you know what I'm finding is my most favorite part of horse racing? The names of the horses. Cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, they got one named Touch 'em All, Joe. Obviously a Blue Jays fan.
That's awesome.
The breeder of that particular thoroughbred. I wrote down another one here. Well, that was the one that I wrote down. What was the other one? Call Her Joey.
Yep.
Obviously. So I enjoyed it last night. So the DarkHorse app, I get a little worried here because I got it in my hands and I'm about to place bets and I get tingles. I'm not sure that's a good thing for me or not. And it's the tingles of the adrenaline rush of the racing I've found, not the betting, because I get the same tingles at the motor speedway here when I go. It's exciting. It gets your blood pumping. Where's racing been all my life? Oh, wait, I've been chasing a football and hockey puck around.
Just please don't show up here with your fingers cut off at the knuckles because you didn't pay your betting bill.
It'll be my credit card bill, I'm sure. DarkHorse is Woodbine's new easy-to-use betting app that brings the thrill of the track right to you. Its AI-powered insights and strategies help you make smarter bets straight out of the gate. Feel the excitement of live-streamed horse races wherever you go. Get $30 to start betting when you sign up today using promo code GET30. Download the app for free at playdarkhorse.com, available for Android and Apple devices. It's also almost too simple to use.
Yeah.
It's not even hard. So, yeah, I enjoyed Thursday night races last night on TSN, and way to go, Woodbine. And thanks for partnering with us. Scott Isbister writes in from Alberta. He says, great to hear Frenzy's going to do color commentating. We'll bring back memories of his great football coverage. There you go, Lynch. They're excited. What else? Rockstar yesterday was Julie Stewart-Binks of Fubo TV. And you know her from ESPN and Fox and CTV. I do want to mention, there'll be a poll at the end of the day for Rockstar of the Day today. You'll be voting. Oh, man, see? Bet. I'm like Fred Flintstone. I have it on my head. Mark Cohan, Charleston Hughes, Arash Madani, or John Frenzy. You want to place a bet on who will be the Rockstar of the Day?
Ooh. Yeah.
Think about it.
It's going to be Charleston.
Bet. Oh, John Ohms watching in Winnipeg. He says, how about those Jays, Rod? 5 wins in a row. I have it written down here. 5 in a row, 12-11, and they're at Tampa Bay today.
Right. But that's the hole they dug themselves in. They're finally above 500. They're still 3.5 games back of the division, 3 games back of the wild card, I think. But they're making some noise. And I love the team. I mean, coming back from 7 runs down, it's a fun team to watch.
Sorry, but how about them Padres that have hit a grand slam in 4 consecutive games, never before been done in Major League Baseball history? The San Diego Padres, the Pod Squad. They're making brown and gold look good.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever they call it, brown and yellow.
Sure.
And I wrote down Mike Milbury here. How do you feel? We were talking about this at our morning meeting. Last point of the rollout for Flooring Superstore before we break and bring in Mark Cohan. Him saying last night, the players in the bubble, not distracted by women. And it was not a sexual comment, in my opinion. It was a sexist comment about there's no women around to distract the guys. Should he lose his job or not? Because they're on his butt about it.
I know. I'd say no for that. I mean, his intentions were good. But, I mean, you really got to be careful. Because that's not the first time Mike Milbury said something, so it leads to the kind of person that he is. That's more, you should lose a job because of the guy you are, not necessarily about one thing you said.
Yeah.
Right? But when there's a pattern, then you got to look a little deeper.
Things are adding up with Mike Milbury. Not sexist comments, stupid comments.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. And a guy who knows the game, but just keeps putting his foot in his mouth.
Well, it's interesting to watch. We'll see if Mike Milbury survives. I have a feeling that he will for at least these playoffs. But we'll see. All right, Mark Cohan coming up. Charleston Hughes, Arash Madani, and John Frenzy. Lots of fun to get to on a Football Friday. We'll be right back. It's the RP Show, and you're watching across North America on Game Plus TV Network. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. And you're listening live at rodpeterson.com.
You're watching Rod Peterson on demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.